In this video, I'm going to walk you through a very simple step-by-step that shows how you can track your AI traffic, so traffic from any LLM, such as ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, etc., in GA4. So we will be able to see how many direct sessions an LLM actually sends to our website. Now, before I dive into this, I think it's really important to note that in a lot of cases, when an LLM mentions or refers to a brand, they quite often don't choose to link to that brand. And it really comes down to the query that you're putting into the LLM, but also the LLM itself. So for example, I could put the same or similar queries into ChatGPT, for example. In some cases, I will be given the link. In other cases, I won't be given the link. So just bear that in mind, that this is only showing direct traffic. So anyone that's clicked a link from an LLM and visited your site and won't necessarily show you the impact of having the visibility in the LLM, for example. As always, I put a link to the show notes in the description. So if you're interested to get these and the show notes for all of my other videos, then just click the link below. If you like these kind of videos, insights into B2B marketing and AI in particular, then please subscribe to the channel. Okay, so let's dive into it. So to begin, what we need to do is come over to reports in the left-hand side. This will then give you a drop down. So you need to follow this and select traffic acquisition underneath the acquisition category. Now within traffic acquisition, this will provide all the channel sources that have sent traffic to your site in a given date range. So what I'm going to do, just to make sure that we've got enough data to really see the impact, I'm just going to jump this back 12 months or so. Now, once you're in traffic acquisition, if you scroll down to the bottom here, you'll notice that there's a plus icon. So if you select this, then navigate your way to session source. So if you type it in at the top here, and then select session source. So this will give you more of a breakdown of the channel that has directed the traffic to your website. So once you have this, it should be set as your secondary dimension. Scroll up to the top and go to add filter. Now on the right hand side, what we're subsequently going to do is also type in session source. The match type, you're going to go to matches regex. And then what you're going to do is take the regex value that I've pasted in the description of the video into here. Now, what you'll notice is that every single LLM that I can find anyway has been mentioned down below. Now, if there is an additional LLM or an additional source that you wish to add to this, then quite simply you can follow the structure of domain backslash and then the TLDR just added onto the end of it. And the reason we do this is because these are essentially or statements. So if I remove this for the moment, and if I just went to type in at the bottom here and I went to ChatGPT, for example, this will give me all the sessions directly from ChatGPT. So if I wanted to go through these one by one, I could. Additionally, if I went into add filter, and again, if I followed a similar process where I go to session source, I go to match type, let's just say I go to contains and I go to ChatGPT, but I also want to see Perplexity, for example. I go to add condition, you'll notice that it gives me an and statement. So this means that it's going to be looking for ChatGPT and another source, for example, which means that it's not going to flag up anything correctly. So this is why we need to go to matches regex. We need to paste the regex value, and this will look for everything as an or statement. So Perplexity or PHIND or OpenAI or Bard, etc., etc., etc. So what I'm going to do is hit apply on that. And then you'll notice that we've got 5 models, although it's listed 6 different rows because it's listed ChatGPT twice, of all the AI traffic that has been sent to this website. Now, why it's listed chatgpt.com twice, one is unassigned, I'm not 100% sure. I can only think that there was an issue in the UTMs that have been sent, because you'll notice that whenever ChatGPT sends any traffic from ChatGPT to their site, they tag it with UTM, with like a UTM source equals, then ChatGPT will be added to that. And that's why we can track that specifically in ga4. Now, not just sessions, and of course we can have a look at sort of the date ranges varying from sort of one time period to another. But we can also have a look at the number of events that all of the LLMs have triggered. So, for example, in this case, we could even have a look at, say, a form submit, and you can do this on your ga4 and see how many form submits have directly been attributed back to that LLM. Of course, if that event is running, in this case, it isn't. So we can actually paint a bit of a picture as to the impact that the LLM is having, not just on the traffic that's being sent, but also on the action that those users are taking as well, which is quite powerful, I think, because what would be really interesting is as the popularity in the LLMs steadily, or quickly, I should say, increases, we would expect that more action is being taken after a user has been referred from that LLM, right? So it's quite interesting that we can do all that. In addition, as well, the engagement rate, it would be really fascinating to sort of see how the engagement rate from traffic sent from an LLM matches up with that of other channels, such as organic, such as email, such as paid, for example. As we can see that LLMs are being used more in the consideration phase, and users will navigate to the site from clicking the link. My hunch, my hypothesis will be that engagement rates will steadily incline. Now, also bear in mind that sometimes the links aren't super obvious. You know, this very much isn't Google's traditional 10 blue links model in the likes of ChatGPT. You know, it's very much here's a source in the bottom corner, but the model is aiming to give you as much insight as they can. So again, I think engagement rate will be a fascinating one to track and to measure over time. So just to summarize the data here, we can see that ChatGPT generates most of our sessions from an LLM. But in the grand scheme of things, it's still very much a small number. But as I mentioned at the start of the video, this won't be including sessions that have come via, say, a search for the brand through Google, for example. This is only sessions that have been searched on ChatGPT or other LLMs, and the user has actually clicked from that LLM. So this will not tell the whole story, but it definitely tells part of the story, and definitely something that you should start embedding into your reporting. But just to give you, I guess, a bit of an understanding of the scale of how many sessions this is searching versus rest of the traffic. And real quick as well, you can see that this is, although a small sample size, this has been busier towards, you know, the latter half of 2025 and pretty much non-existent in 2024, which does give a bit of context to the growing popularity of the models. If I just remove the data here, just to show the grand scale of, you know, how much traffic they've been sending, the LLM had sent sort of circa 135 sessions or so directly out of the 180,000 sessions that have been sent in the same time period. So a drop in the ocean, to be totally honest with you. But we can only expect this to increase, and it certainly should be part of your reporting and as part of a wider report that's showing visibility in an LLM that I'll cover in a different video. So if you like this short and sweet video, if you're intrigued about insights into AI and B2B marketing, then please subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, I will see you next time.